just want to let you guys know. Are you going to put up the little banner for the Eden Pure stuff?
Yes, I am. I am going to do that.
There's a special buy one get one.
Where is
on the Thunderstorm.
It looks like
Thunderstorm air purifier at EdenPureDeals.com. You can use code CHICKS and get that. Buy one, get one, you guys. Do it. Take advantage of that. Because you know that you have stinky people in your house. Stinky people, stinky dogs, stinky cats, stinky everything, stinky food. And you can take care of that by taking care of this or taking advantage of this deal. So do that. Buy one, get one.
EdenPureDeals.com.
Code CHICKS. Code CHICKS. Do it. Also, check out our website at chicksontheright.com. Do that today. Bookmark it if you haven't done that. But this is the universal sign for bookmarking.
Bookmark it. Mm-hmm. Bookmark it.
Do it. Everybody's doing that right now.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. He's asking, is Missy, Jean, Michelle, that little scamp, okay? Some of us have asked where she has been. You should reach out to her in Insiders. I know we've talked to her and she's fine, but you should reach out to her for sure because she's an Insiders. Just tag her and ask her how she's doing. I'm sure she would appreciate it. All right. So what's he doing?
I don't know, but he's waving his balls in the air like he doesn't care. Buddy, come over here and sit down. Nobody wants to see your balls. Come on.
Well, I can't, like in my frame, I can't see
I know. He was kind of showing up. I think he's looking at cows, you guys. So okay. I apologize. He'll sit down in a second.
All right. So first things first, let's just mention quickly, because there's a top story on Daily Mail right now about that Carlee Russell, with the toddler on the interstate and the whole, like, maybe she was kidnapped or abducted for 48 hours. And the whole story has been so weird. And so today at the top of Daily Mail, it's saying that police are saying there is no other evidence of a toddler being on the interstate except for Carlee Russell's 911 call. So no one else saw this toddler. No one else reported this toddler. No one ever reported a toddler missing. So this is just another weird element of this story that still doesn't have a lot of answers. She's home, just apparently not talking. And her parents and her boyfriend still insisting, she was totally kidnapped and like fought for her life for 2 straight days. And she's just traumatized and can't talk about it. So
she's in the same place that the lady who said that MFer is not real on the plane is.
Yeah.
We're never going to hear from her again.
With Andrea Chanteros. They're probably all hanging out together.
They're all together. They're all together on an island somewhere. We don't know. We're never going to hear from him again.
It's just so weird.
So bizarre. We hear these bizarre stories. Yeah. It's just, what's happening?
So bizarre. Also, there was a leaked memo. You can see the details about this at our website, chicksontheright.com. Our writer Natalie wrote a story about this as her husband is in the military. So on all things military, Natalie is very interested. Mm-hmm. And there was a Department of Defense memo that got leaked that addresses transgender people in the military and like guidance about how you deal with them. And essentially, what this memo revealed is that they are able to waive deployments and receive indefinite physical fitness waivers when they're going through all of their their surgeries or therapies or treatments. And I'm just like, so what is the point of having them be in the military?
Well, they get paid for doing nothing. So they get special treatment. So this is exactly what this group of people wants, right? Is they want special treatment. They don't want to just be accepted. They want special treatment, and that's precisely what they're getting in the military. So you go into the military, you get a check, and then you don't
free
have to
care from us.
Right. Exactly. You get free everything, and then you get all these benefits, and you don't have to do shit. You don't have to do what everybody else does. I mean, can you imagine being somebody in the military who's been deployed like 8 times, and you're looking at a trans person going, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like that.
How are you helping us with military readiness?
Right. This is asinine. I cannot.
Infuriating.
Good. And by the way, and if you have a kid, that kid gets to go to college for free on the GI Bill. We're going to pay for that too. That's great. Fantastic. I mean, think of all the benefits that these people get. It pays to be trans, you guys. And then they say that they're oppressed somehow. No, they are privileged. They are now a privileged class because of this. It's craziness.
I mean, it's just utterly ridiculous. There were, in fact, I saw in our commenting section earlier before we even went live, people were speculating about Harry and Meghan splitting. There was a story in Radar Online, which is not particularly reputable when it comes to the rumor mill, but in any case, they reported that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage is on the rocks and that they are currently taking time apart to heal and rebuild their bond. But then, like, an insider close to the couple said that this is completely untrue, that it's totally made up, that they're just as happy and delighted to be together as ever. I tend to believe that they're not splitting only because that would be so much egg on their face that neither one of them, I think, have the ego to withstand at this present time. So
because
I
they're
don't
like
believe they're
the love,
splitting.
because they project themselves as like the love story of the century.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bunch of crap. He's like, I love my brother, I love my family. I don't love my wife.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's any legs to this story, but we'll see. I mean,
I'd love it. God, I'd love it if they broke up. I'm just gonna put that out there. I just love it so much because then she'd come out with a tell-all and she'd talk about his penis. Yeah, she'd talk about all the things. She'd be like, "This is what his penis size is. This is this. This is that." I mean, they'd just be awful to one another if they broke up, and I'd be so there for it. I would be. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I wonder how a divorce and like a custody battle between them, what that would actually look like. Oh my God. Because they've got that's when the monarchy would come rushing to Prince Harry's side. Because they'd be like, finally, he's getting rid of that hag. And now we're going to rally around him and like give him everything that he wants. And so she'd be in a world of hurt, I think, if she were to want to divorce. Anyway, I don't think that they're splitting, but this is a story that's out there, so we had to mention it. Speaking of people divorcing, there are some celebrity divorces that we do need to mention. Ariana Grande. I didn't even know she was married.
I didn't either.
But she is now divorced.
What is she, like 12? How old is this chick?
Well, she's awfully young to have been engaged like 7 different times and finally got married to whoever this guy, I don't even know who it is, but now they're not together.
How long did that last? Like 2 months?
Not long at all.
Okay. All right.
Not long at all. Sofia Vergara and the hot dude from Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. Yeah.
Manganiello or
whatever. They were a hot couple. They were a hot
couple. They were
hot.
Doomed from the start.
Yes, they were. Yes, they totally were. They were way too hot.
It was just too. It was just too much.
You can't have 2 hot people. You got to have like one hot one and one like either not so hot one or one just not hot at all person. Just sort of balance out the non, the hotness. You gotta simmer on one side. You know what I mean? You can't have 2 hot people like that. God, they were too hot.
Well, they are Splitsville now.
Okay. So, I heard he was an alcoholic or something.
Yeah. Or that he was, but he's been sober for a long time, but she still drinks and and
you can't do that. Yeah. And then to think like Mary Madeline and James Carville are still together. How does that,
love is a mysterious thing.
It's very, very strange.
Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott are Splitsville for sure. This is like the 9th time, so it's barely even interesting. But anyway, I think
they have like 12 kids.
They have so many kids.
So many. They have more kids than Brad Pitt and Angelina.
So many kids.
Oh my God.
I think most couples would have much more successful marriages if they ate more Omaha Steaks.
Yeah, they would.
That's just my personal view.
Really great, great transition there, Ma.
So thank you. And if you're having trouble, maybe there's trouble in paradise right now, right? Maybe you're having a little struggle with your spouse. You know what would make that spouse feel so much better?
Steak.
Home cooked meal.
Right.
Home cooked meal with Omaha Steaks.
Yep.
And then now is the time. Yeah. Now is the time, because if you go to omahasteaks.com and you use code CHICKS in the search bar, you are going to get the Grilling Essentials package for less than $100. It's a 62% savings right now, and it includes all your favorites: the bacon wrapped fillets, the chicken breasts, the pork, the jumbo franks, the 12 free burgers on top of that.
I'm starving right now.
I'm sorry,
I would eat it right now. I'd eat the steak right now. You guys, it's 6:41 in the morning here, and I'd eat the steak right now.
There's never not a good time for steak. And the steak from Omaha Steaks is it's superior. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. And right now, when there's such a huge savings on it, you might as well take advantage. OmahaSteaks.com. Just put the word chicks in the search bar. Look for that grilling essentials package, which includes the 12 free burgers for less than $100. They're calling it, I think appropriately, a hotter than fire deal.
Hotter than fire. You know, it's Shelly. Shelly said she'd take a steak over flowers any day. That is my kind of girl. It's exactly how I feel, Shelly. That's right.
That's exactly right. Okay, so I think that takes care of all of the Hollywood divorce news. So now let's get to Trump, who did a town hall with Sean Hannity last night. And they talked about lots of things. I have 3 clips to share with you. I'm going to try my best to behave when it comes to playing these clips. So he was first asked, as he has been by almost everyone who's interviewed him, you keep saying you're going to stop the war in 24 hours. How are you going to do that? The first half of his answer is all about how Zelensky was nice to him. And then you'll hear how he plans to end the war. And you can let us know if you think this is going to work.
Our country. Okay, you have said very boldly you could end this Ukrainian-Russia war in 24 hours.
Yeah.
How?
So I know Zelensky very well because he was very honorable with the fake phone call, impeachment hoax #1. They said I made a phone call to him and I was very threatening. I wasn't at all. I was actually very nice. I was congratulating him on a victory. But when they asked him, they said, were you threatened? He didn't even know what they were talking about. He was very honorable. He could have done grandstand. He said, yeah, I felt threatened. I felt threatened. He didn't do that. And as you know, I get along very well with Putin. I would tell Putin, got to settle. I would tell Zelensky, you got to settle. I would tell one, you're going to load up with money. I'd tell the other, you're not going to get any money. I would get a settlement in 24 hours. Now, it should have never happened.
Okay, so, all right. I got to unpack and untangle this. I love that you got to settle.
I know, that was my favorite part.
All right. So what he's saying, and just make sure I understand this. So what he's saying is, because what I would, if I were president, because I'm never going to be president, but if I were president, I would be taking money away from this situation. I wouldn't be throwing more money at it. But what I'm hearing is why are we continuing to give more money and throwing more money at the situation? We should be taking money away, not giving more money. And so that's what I'm hearing. Is so he's saying whoever is cooperating more with him is going to get more money, and then that
more
person
of our money,
more of my money. It's my money. It's mine.
Yeah. And Trump happy to throw it around
this is the thing.
The war.
That's not the right answer. Wrong answer. That's that's not the answer I want to hear, you guys. It's just not. I don't want to hear that answer. It's I need to hear somebody say that money is not going in more money. I'm not hearing that.
I would love to hear more about whoever the president is doing more to get the other European nations who are much more directly impacted by this war to pony up to take care of business on their own freaking continent. I'm never hearing anybody say that ever.
Maybe negotiations with them, talking to them, or somehow figuring out a way to get our money the hell out of there.
And I know that I totally get the argument when some people say, well, of course, Trump is not going to show his hand. He's not just going to be like, here's exactly what I'm going to do. But I would prefer that answer over him saying, well, whoever agrees with me more is going to get more U.S. tax dollars. I would much rather hear him say, I'm not going to show my hand, but I can assure you that I'll have this settled in 24 hours. I would be much more happy with that answer than the one that he just gave, which is to say, you got to settle. And if you don't, then you're going to get more money than you're going to get. What? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And so I know a lot of people were like, Trump was excellent last night. Okay. I mean, maybe he was, and there were things that he said that were excellent. That was not one of those things.
Well, I'll end my, I'll just say that if DeSantis said this, if DeSantis answered in this way,
can you imagine?
Trump people would be really pissed off about it, but because he's saying it, I think people truly believe that if we throw enough money at this, it'll end. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I think that if we continue to throw money at this, it's never going to end. And it's Charlie's like, you're not capable of understanding. All right, well, if you
I
think
know.
I'm not capable
And there's
of
already people that are
understanding-
like, she's doing her Trump bashing again. I mean,
listen, okay, fine. I'm not the Trump basher. I just don't understand how continuing to throw money at this war is going to make it stop. I just don't believe.
If you say that, just get ready because you're going to be considered a Trump basher.
That doesn't mean that I don't like Trump. That means that I don't understand how that's going to help it. I don't think that that's all we've been doing is throwing money at this thing. I don't believe it. I don't believe it to be true. Doesn't mean I don't like him. It's just that me not believing that is the way to solve this problem. More money, more money, more money. It's just not fine. Okay. You don't think I understand, Dolores? Fine. Well, we're going to agree to disagree.
She is the Trump whisperer, Dolores. So you just don't understand.
I just don't believe it to be true. I disagree with them on that.
Joanne is telling us to shut up on our show. Okay.
I don't believe it to be true, but there's other things that I agree with them on. I just don't agree with them on this.
So the next, one of the questions that everybody's been asking, because obviously there's no one angrier about the outcome of the 2020 election than Trump, rightly so. And you and I have had questions about, well, what is he doing to prevent any shenanigans with the next election? How is he managing that? Sean asked him about that as well. And here is how that went.
My question is, do you now encourage and embrace early and voting by mail, and legal ballot harvesting?
I do, but I also have to say something else, because the one thing a lot of people,
but this is important,
including you, don't talk about, they also create phony ballots, and that's a real problem. That's my opinion. But they create a lot of phony ballots.
Has your mind shifted? In other words, I think if Republicans start out election day down 200, 300, 500,000 votes, that becomes nearly impossible to catch up with.
For some reason, Republicans always wanted to go out on Tuesday and they wanted to vote. And I respect that. I think it's great. And it would be great if we could get back to one day and all the things that you said with one thing else.
I agree with you.
With voter ID.
That, yeah.
With voter ID. Because the Democrats don't want
signature verification.
How about this? They don't want voter ID because they want to cheat. They want to cheat. They don't want voter ID. Even the Democrats, regular Democrat people want voter ID, but the leaders don't because they can't cheat. The one thing we have to be very careful of is phony ballots. Everything you say is great, but they create ballots. That's my opinion, and that's the opinion of a lot of people.
Will you encourage your voters, based on the system we have, to go along with the system of early voting and voting by mail? Because I think if you don't, it's a big mistake.
No. I will, but those ballots get lost also, Sean. They send them in and all of a sudden they're gone. Those ballots get lost also. The answer is I will because you would like it. But you know what? Can I be honest?
For me. Okay.
But
I got to take a break.
But Sean, a lot of bad things happen to those ballots also. They're sent in early and all of a sudden, where are they?
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
He's 150% correct. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that he said that wasn't that he was correct on every point there.
Except what are we going to do about those ballots that go missing? Or like, what is the plan? And even if he doesn't have the answer, somebody needs to say, here's what we're doing to fix this.
It's not Trump's job to do that. I mean, he can listen, it really isn't. It is Rana's job to do that. That's the RNC's job to figure out how to handle that. And then it's our job as people, as citizens, to overwhelm the system and to
Why doesn't he say that? Why does he constantly instill doubt about the whole system? Because if anything, that's going to make people feel like, well, why should I bother? I would much rather hear him say, you know what? It doesn't matter. We all know there's shenanigans. What we have to do is come out in such grand numbers that we overwhelm the whole election process.
Well, I guess that's our job, Mock.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to do it.
That's our job to tell people.
I wish we weren't alone on that.
Right. That's our job to tell people they got to show the hell up. They got to show up in unbelievable numbers, and they got to bring friends, and that's the job of precinct chairs. And that's the job of people to make sure that you just show up and overwhelm the system. But I mean, there is doubt. I think there's doubt on a lot of us. I mean, I know there's doubt in my mind. And everything that he said is true. There's nothing that he said that he was incorrect on. Yeah. I mean, there is doubt because there's so many shenanigans, as you would say, and crazy stuff going on. And our system is kind of borked. And so we have to overwhelm. We have to.
Completely.
Yeah.
Overwhelm.
And shame on Ronna McDaniel for not getting out there and talking about this more. Shame on the RNC. They suck.
They really do suck so hard. Lastly, we had, I have a clip of him talking about President Xi. I want everybody to just imagine literally anybody else in the field, Democrat or Republican, anybody else saying this.
But think of President Xi, central casting, brilliant guy. You know, when I say he's brilliant, everyone says, oh, that's terrible. We call it. Well, he runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. Smart, brilliant, everything perfect. There's nobody in Hollywood like this guy.
He's a commie, you know?
Why is he praising that guy?
Yeah, you don't praise commies. That's not cool. You know,
I just will never understand that. I don't
understand that either. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call him brilliant. Yeah,
but he admires him for ruling with an iron fist. It's the exact same thing that he wrote in his Trump letters book. Yeah. He's like, wow, he made himself president for life, and that's amazing. Like, he's praising that.
Yeah, and the left, and like the CNNs and the MSNBCs and all those people, they're going to run with that, and they're going to be like, that's what he wants to do. He wants to. Yeah, this is the thing: is you don't praise commies, man. You just don't do that.
And these are the sound bites, and I play them because I know this is what Democrats will use. I mean,
we've been doing this. It's like you can predict because we've been doing this for so long. You just know exactly what they're going to pull, and then on CNN and MSNBC all day today, they're going to be playing that on a freaking loop, you know.
And they should. I would, if I were on the opposing team, I'd be absolutely doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just like you open mouth, insert all the feet.
Yeah, because the thing is that they can turn around and say they're fascists using that clip.
Exactly.
You know, when we know for a fact that we're not the fascists, they are.
Right.
You know, but they can use that clip and clearly point at us and go, but he wants to be a communist dictator because he loves Xi, you know, he loves China. He loves that. And it's like, damn it. Why do you say that? Why are you going to do that? Don't do that. It's like you make us an easy target, you know?
Yeah. If you have not tried fresh pressed olive oil, you have no idea what you're missing. I've been keeping this bottle just to show it for when we talk about fresh pressed olive oil. But you guys, it's time for me to get into this bottle. This is the one
I use the crap out of those.
Strong. My husband labeled it the strong flavor. And that, oh my God. I don't even.
So good.
And it's so good for you. If you're not using olive oil to just cook or to have as your good fat, your healthy fat, this is so good for you. The health benefits of olive oil have been proven time and time again. And so it's not just about the fact that it's healthy, though. It is the taste. And I just cannot express how much better fresh pressed olive oil tastes than anything that you will ever get on the supermarket shelf. And the creator of this, TJ Robinson, who they call the olive oil hunter, because he goes to all kinds of like tiny little small farms, olive farms all over the world, and picks the very best places to source his olive oil from. I don't know what kind of magic he does, but he's got some magic and he wants everybody to taste the difference. And so that is why you can get this size bottle, a full size bottle. This is normally like $40. You can get it for free. You just pay $1 towards the shipping cost. So you can try it for free and see the difference. There's no obligation. Try it. If you don't think it's like freaking amazing compared to all the other olive oils that you've ever tried, whatever, no harm, no foul. You just got yourself a free bottle, but you're probably going to love it and you're probably going to want a lot more of it. So if you want to get your free bottle, just go to chicksloveoliveoil.com. Chicks Love Olive Oil.
And get that olive oil and then put a little bit of like red wine vinegar and then some salt and then a fresh loaf of bread. And then just eat that for lunch.
And put some Parmesan cheese on top of that. Oh
my God. I'm so hungry right now, you guys. You have no idea. So
bread.
This morning.
Oh, yeah. So good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So speaking of people doing the rounds and interviews, people have long criticized DeSantis for staying away from the mainstream media outlets. And so he has apparently gotten that message and he went to talk to Jake Tapper. Now it's looking like Trump may be facing a third indictment about his involvement in the January 6th protest. And so DeSantis, that news was breaking right when Jake Tapper was talking with DeSantis. So he asked him to weigh in on it. DeSantis said all the right things, which is that he doesn't want to see Trump charged again. This is total weaponization of the Department of Justice, which of course it absolutely is. And he specifically mentioned Jack Smith, by saying this is ridiculous and this is just an overreach. And this is like really stretching the law to try to get some sort of criminality to pin onto Trump. It's all nonsense. And so Tapper pushed back and said, nuh-uh, Jack Smith also prosecutes Democrats. Here's that exchange.
Smith has prosecuted Democrats, too. I mean, he prosecuted, or at least was part of the prosecution of Senator Menendez, Senator John Edwards. Are you saying that if he finds evidence of criminality, he should not charge Donald Trump anyway?
What I'm saying is, when you're going after somebody on the other side of the political spectrum, if you're stretching statutes to try to criminalize maybe political disagreements, that is wrong. Now, look, this is all speculation, but I think we've gone down the road in this country of trying to criminalize differences in politics rather than saying, okay, you don't like somebody, then defeat them in the election rather than trying to use the justice system. So we don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you with the Bragg one, that was stretching criminal law. Yeah. The evidence of criminality was very weak. And even if that existed, other people would not have been charged under those circumstances. That's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yep, that is the problem.
It's
and
so
everybody with half a brain sees that.
Yeah. And we don't know still. I mean, Trump seems certain that he is going to be indicted. It's not, there hasn't been an indictment yet, but he's been called up by the grand jury and it seemed all signs are pointing to another indictment. So KJP was asked to weigh in about that at her presser yesterday. And as you can imagine, KJP was as clear and as competent as ever.
Former President Trump received a letter from the special counsel that he's being investigated for his role in efforts to overturn the 2020 election. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the Biden administration has decided to, quote, weaponize government to go after their number one opponent, end quote.
I'll say weaponize government. Here's what we have done. The president respects the Department of Justice, their independence. He has been very steadfast on making sure that the rule of law comes back in this administration, comes back in the White House and clearly the administration more broadly. And that's what you have seen. I'm just not going to comment on this particular case.
Yeah, the rule of law. The rule of law has got to come back, you guys, except for when there's coke in the White House. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and just destroy that evidence,
right.
But we're all about the rule of law here. Okay, lady. God, give me a freaking break.
It's like they don't know what words mean.
No.
You know what I mean? Because she's like, this is the most transparent administration. We believe in the rule of law. Like, what? Do you hear yourself?
Full of shit, these people are. God.
Alyssa Farah, who worked directly in the Trump administration for Mike Pence, she, of course, on The View now, she was weighing in on the January 6th stuff and explaining that the reason there might be this indictment coming is because Trump, the question is, did Trump know definitively that he lost? Did he believe he lost the election? Or did he genuinely believe he won? And the intent of like then rallying people up and getting them all angry and then going to the Capitol, that factors in to this whole possible indictment. You'll hear her explaining that here.
I mean, listen, I want to be happy about it. The whole thing just makes me depressed. It is the right thing. He should be charged. I met voluntarily with the Department of Justice investigators. I met with the January 6th committee. Without sharing anything I shouldn't, they were very interested in sort of whether he knew he lost the election. In my recounting, which I've shared before, he knew he lost, at least in the days right after.
Is there a quote that
he said directly to me that he acknowledged he lost, but I don't know if he's changed his mind since then, but that matters because it will allow them to prove that he knew he lost and he still wanted to defraud the public. He still wanted to incite a mob to go to the Capitol and storm the Capitol. So that's a really important piece. From what I know of his legal team, they're most afraid of the documents case in terms of the legal exposure.
Because it's just very easy.
It's a much easier case. But this puts front and center the worst day of his presidency, something that was one of the most tragic things that happened in recent memory and was an attack on our democracy. And he's kind of workshopping these lines of like, I was indicted for you. He was not indicted for you. He was indicted because he refused to accept, or he's likely going to be indicted because he refused to accept he lost the election. Right. And now what he's doing is 10% of all his campaign donations go to his legal bills.
Oh my gosh.
It's all a grift. Like at the end of the day, this is simply a grift.
And these foolish people, I hope they stop giving
her face.
all of their faces.
I know.
Every single one of them. God, Alyssa, Ferrara, whatever. I can't with her.
I've never heard him say or acknowledge that he lost ever.
No.
So I mean, I think he genuinely believes he won and has always believed he won. So I don't know how that, if she's saying, well, he said directly to me that he lost and there's other witnesses that are testifying that if that's what they're hinging this whole possible indictment on, that is pathetic.
Yeah, I think it's all pathetic, Mock.
Oh my God.
I think the whole indictment is just I think it's a stretch. And I think that they're trying to do everything they can to take this guy down because he's polling exactly the same as Joe Biden is. And they just don't want him to be there. So they're going to do everything they can. What is this, like the 8th time they tried to take this guy down? I mean, everybody sees it. It's just, I can't believe we're even talking about all this. It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. They're going to do everything they can to destroy him and destroy his family. And I just can't believe in the United States of America that we're doing this,
I know. Well, and Brett Baer, I thought summarized where this leaves us, the GOP, as a party in terms of this primary season, because it kind of puts people into two camps, and how we'll reconcile those camps is yet to be determined. Here's Brett.
There are really two sides of this, and this is where this election is going to be played out on the GOP primary side, and that is the people who say, you know what, I really liked Trump policies, but I just don't like the chaos. I don't like the baggage. And that's what Nikki Haley is trying to tap into. You're likely going to see Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence and others tap into that. But then there's another side that says, listen, why are they going after him so hard? Why are they doing this, to this former president who we liked his policies? We had some problems with him personally, maybe. But why are they doing it? Because maybe, this is their thinking, he's shaking things up and bringing down the swamp and changing Washington. And that's why they're going after him. And at least that's what they say publicly. And I think that's where the battle of this GOP primary is going to be.
He's right.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
He's totally right. And then there are some people who are both.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, because I feel like that. Like, I feel like it's so unfair, and it makes me so angry, and it makes me endeared. Like, it endears Trump to me when I see the shit that he's going through. It just makes me so mad. But at the same time, I'm exhausted by it. I'm so exhausted from it. And I just worry that a Trump presidency would be all about revenge, all about just spite. And I just don't think that's the best thing for the country.
Like the healthiest thing. I think there's a lot of people that feel like you.
Well, and one of them was just at a DeSantis town hall or whatever. What are those called when they go and campaign when they're out stumping, right? Like
they're basically town halls. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a woman devoted to Trump who kind of echoed what I think Brett is trying to talk about when he's talking about that exhaustion. Here she is.
All right.
I was invited to come today to listen to you by this gentleman, Representative Moss, I'm a very hardcore Trump supporter, but I know he made me stop and think a minute, because my love for President Trump comes from all the despair, all the things that he's been through, has served as our President of the United States, and he did a good job. But all the things, I'm thinking more with my heart and my sorrow and my love for him and for this country. But now this is the most important vote that we're going to have, and I have to think more with my mind and what's best for this country. And you did an excellent job, and I certainly appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you.
Well, God bless her.
I know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And, I agree with you. I appreciate what President Trump did. How they treated him with things like Russia collusion was a disgrace. And he was treated wrong. He was treated in ways that were unconstitutional. But here's the thing. The question for us now is, what are we going to do about it? And we need to end the weaponization of government. I will get that done. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about me standing up for you and standing up for this Constitution and restoring this country to what the Founding Fathers envisioned. And we will get it done. We will be focused, we will be disciplined, and we will make it happen.
I mean, yeah, I think she represents a lot of people. It's just going to be really interesting to see what happens in the primaries, because some people are just so dead set. I mean, there's people in our audience that are just so dead set. They're like, that's what they want. They want you to be exhausted, and they're just dead set on Trump. I mean, I want to see the debates, and I want him to show up. And I know, I don't know if we're playing it today. Are we playing there's a clip from, I think it was like Fox and Friends, and Steve Doocy. I don't think you have it.
No.
But Steve Doocy, he talked about how he's like, he needs to show up.
Yeah.
Trump needs to show up. And I think Nikki Haley has been talking about how, it is it's our duty to be there for the American people. Everybody needs to show up to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing I really hope that Trump does. I hope he does. For me, he's got to do that, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm somebody who I'm just holding out hope that he does that. It's just an important part of the process. And if he doesn't do that, I'm going to be really disappointed, because I'm not stumping for anybody, but I'm kind of like floating. I'm like kind of waiting to see, like, who's my person, man? I don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
But man, every single freaking candidate who's running for president on our side needs to be at those damn debates. They need to be there.
Yeah.
Or they're showing me that they don't care about me.
And that they think they're too important.
Or they're too good. Yeah, they're too good to show up. It's like, that's what they're saying to me. It's like, if you want to be my president, you need to show up to those debates. That's how I feel about that. Yeah. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way.
You're definitely not. You are definitely not.
It's like, if you want the job, you need to show up to the freaking interview. You're not too good to show up. And if you feel like you're too good to show up, well, then you're not my guy.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying to me that you're too good for me. You're too good to show up for me.
Because this is a part of the process.
Yes, that is how I feel about that. And I'm digging my heels in on that. So that's all I got to say about that.
There was this also part of this whole indictment thing. So this Jack Smith guy that would be handing down the indictment apparently went to Subway yesterday. Why this is important, I have no idea. But you guys, you would have thought that like some of these other mainstream channels, they were so hyper analyzing the Subway sandwich that Jack Smith got, as if to suggest that by getting a sandwich from Subway, he was sending a message.
It's ridiculous.
To Trump.
They had like a 7-person panel at CNN talking about freaking Subway. It was insane.
So Jesse Waters, who, now he's at the Tucker Time. So the whole new Fox lineup has taken effect. And
he's doing a pretty good job. He's doing all right.
He's doing his Jesse thing. I don't know if you guys saw his mom call in on his first night. His mom, I can't stand that woman.
Awkward.
Oh my gosh, that was so awful. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she called in. It was just embarrassing. But he did get, on his first night, he got 800,000 fewer viewers than Tucker typically got.
Okay.
So it's a little sluggish of a start.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll improve or not. But anyway, he did a great little bit on the whole Jack Smith Subway sandwich hullabaloo.
Strategy. So the second rung of the Biden strategy is make Trump's prosecutor a celebrity. Biden's special counsel, Jack Smith, who's prosecuting Trump for the documents and January 6th, ordered lunch today. And CNN turned into TMZ and turned Jack Smith into Tom Cruise. Watch.
My God.
Turns out even Jack Smith can't resist a $5 footlong. That's according to what we see right there. New and exclusive CNN video of the special counsel at Subway.
He was spotted today by CNN going to Subway for lunch, picking up a sandwich, leaving, and not saying a word.
He stood in line just like everybody else.
Just like everybody else,
couldn't
you
tell
guys.
whether it was a foot long or was it a 6-inch sub.
You couldn't tell if it was 6 inches or a foot long. Why don't you take a look a little harder? Let's put the investigative unit on that one. And by the way, it's not a $5 foot long anymore. Thanks to inflation, it's a $9 foot long. But that's not all. The media says his Subway lunch was symbolic.
Jack Smith going to Subway today is a message to Donald Trump. Donald Trump tries to intimidate people. He tries to bully people. He tries to scare you away. That was Jack Smith with no words and a simple $5 sub in his hand saying, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, the imagery was intentional and spoke volumes.
It was intentional.
So they don't send cameras to the border, but don't worry, they have Subway covered. Once again.
Just beyond parody.
And there are 7 people, again, there are 7 people talking about this. They have cameras everywhere, and we still don't know whose Coke that was in the White House. I go back to that. Seriously?
But I bet you they all know, like, if that guy got mustard on his sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
It's
mean, like pickles. Did we have pickles on it?
God.
These people, everything is insufferable. Everything. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I just could not believe that was a thing, but that was that.
It's Subwaygate, you guys. It's Subwaygate.
Subwaygate. Yes.
That's what's happening in our country.
And then meanwhile, in the present administration, we have absolute psychopaths like this one.
What do you say to folks who think that they're being reasonable by saying, why can't children just wait till they're 18?
Adolescence is hard and puberty is hard. What if you're going through the wrong puberty?
I can't. This is the excuse that we should mutilate teenagers.
Look at this individual, and it's so hard. It's very hard for me to take this individual seriously, you guys. It's hard. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. I just wanted
Are we
to hear
done?
the answer to why we should allow hormones and medical mutilation of teenagers. It's because puberty is hard.
Listen, you guys. We've had 3 kids, right? 2 of them are off on their own, and we have one going through puberty right now. Puberty's not hard, okay? It's not. It's not hard. I call BS on that. You know what's hard? Cancer's hard. Stuff like that is hard. Okay. Puberty's not hard. It's just something we all go through. I'm so sick of this garbage. We are all so weak now.
I know.
Like we're all a bunch of wusses. Puberty is not hard. It's just,
it's not fun, but it can be very confusing and it's a weird time, but it's not like life's biggest struggle. Okay.
No,
it's
I
just
think puberty was easier than menopause.
For real.
I mean, get over yourselves. It's not that big of a deal. Like my God, I'm so sick of everybody saying that everything is so hard. Oh, okay. So that excuses all of the stuff that they're saying that kids can do, which is change your entire gender, cut off your doodads. This is insanity. It's not
madness.
Puberty is not hard, you guys. Life is hard, Carla.
Life is
You're
hard.
right. Life is hard. Get over it. Quit being such a wuss, for crying out loud.
There was also a particularly unfortunate moment when President Biden was hosting a world leader in the White House yesterday. And if you can make sense of what you're about to hear and see, have at it. I have no idea what he's saying or whether or not he's even actually awake.
And we brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level and Akwa and Paul Schramm. Yes. And as I affirmed the Prime Minister.
What just happened? What just Do you know what he just said? What did he just say?
No one knows what he just said.
What is he?
And I think he's asleep.
The Israeli president is like, what is going on here? Do we have smelling salts? What's happening? What is happening here?
I mean, what in
Look
the
at his face.
world?
He's genuinely concerned. Oh my God, you guys.
It's as though he's sleep talking.
My God, every day.
Every day. Every day there's something else like that. It's just, it's out of control.
God.
Of control. All right, let's get into the fun debate of the day that is taking place all over social media right now about Miranda Lambert. I have an irrational dislike of Miranda Lambert.
You just don't like her.
Well, I'm not a country music fan, number one. I don't like her music at all.
I like her music.
And I think that she's actually kind of a terrible person. Yeah. I think she's a terrible,
you think she's kind of a biatch? You're just gonna say it. You think she's kind of a biatch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like her music and I don't really have any feelings towards her whatsoever.
Mine are totally irrational. Like they are not logical at all. I've only seen like little bits and pieces of her, and for some reason she's just, you know how you get a person and you like set your sights on them and you're like, I don't like them and I don't know
like
why.
them. Yeah. I don't really have any feelings about her whatsoever. I just know that I do like her music because I listen to country music every once in a while. I live in Texas, for crying out loud. So it's like that is just what you do. And I'm more of I will say that I do think Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani are a very cute couple. And I know that Blake was married to her at one point.
That is
so
true.
If I'm like one of those, I guess if somebody would put me in the camp of like team Blake and Gwen, then I'm probably team Blake and Gwen because I think they're a cute couple. However, I don't have any feelings about her whatsoever. But yeah, she's like being called out because she got really mad at some women at her concert the other day because they were taking an overabundance of selfies.
Yes, during the show. They had like a VIP little seating area. So they weren't like right up next to the stage, but they were in a very, very good spot. And they were taking pictures. They were like, their backs were to Miranda and they were having someone take pictures of them with Miranda in the background so that they could like document their experience at this concert.
Yeah.
So anyway, Miranda took note of them and called them out directly. And so this is a clip that has gone viral. So we'll play this first and then we'll play some other stuff. But here is the clip that's everybody's talking about.
Something bound to fall apart. I'm going to stop right here for a sec, Danny. I'm sorry. These girls are worried about their selfie and not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit.
Dang.
Oh man.
And then apparently the girls, like some of them, they were like, we're leaving. We're out of here. Like we're not going to be told what to do during a concert. Now there were also like some people behind those girls because if you got to get the full context.
Right. And so this is what it looked like. This is them. And this is what it looked like when they got their picture taken. You can kind of see a flash go off right there. See it?
Yeah.
And so the girls say that took approximately 30 seconds for them to get their group photo. One of them got like a solo picture with Miranda in the background. She's the one that's like made all the headlines and has gone on all the talk shows. And so she's furious because she's like, I loved her. I bought tickets to the show. We all bought tickets to the show. And I feel like a school teacher has just disciplined me. That's what it felt like to be called out and humiliated like that. And I don't disagree. I think Miranda was awful.
Okay, but then there are other people who said that there are other people that are saying that these girls were doing that all night.
And I don't know. That could totally be the case.
If you read some of the comments, like some of the other commenters were saying these girls were literally taking selfies and taking pictures and like just not listening to the music, and they were doing that all freaking night. And so they were annoyed. Some of the other people in the audience were annoyed that these girls were doing that all night. And so,
but how is it like, how does that bother? If they're in their way, I get it. But that's something that you take up with this, you know, the security, whatever. You just like say, these people will not stand out. They'll, you know, they're blocking our view. They're taking flash photography, which isn't allowed. I don't know what the rules were in that hall. I just know it was like totally not called for Miranda, the entertainer, to call out ticket buyers who came to the show and can do whatever they want. I mean,
guess,
as long as they're within the rules, why is she even saying anything?
I guess, but there is something to be said for, it's kind of like somebody just said, like, put your phone down and enjoy the music. Like there's a part of me that it's like this whole, like, it's a new generation, man. Like, I've been to so many concerts where I never once like had a phone. I never once had a camera. I just listened to the freaking music. You know what I mean? And like, it's just such a different generation now where everybody's taking selfies and like, it's like, I'm an influencer and this chick is an influencer.
She is.
You know,
She's got,
so it's like,
I don't know, 20,000 or fewer people.
Right. So
she's on Instagram.
Probably the whole thing was probably like either live streamed or she was, taking pictures of herself and her girls the whole night. And so there's part of me that, listen, I'm sure that what Miranda said was rude, but at the same time, there's also a part of me that's like, does anybody ever enjoy just the moment anymore? Do we ever do that? Do we ever just like put our phones down and just enjoy the moment without documenting our faces, enjoying the moment, or documenting ourselves, or being so narcissistic that we have to like take pictures of ourselves every second of every day, So I'm just putting that.
And you're
out
right.
there.
I don't know what the story. I mean,
Because
if it's true that they were doing that the entire show, that could be like a huge
It's annoying.
turnoff.
It's
But I don't
annoying
know
as
if
hell.
that's true. If it's true that they say this was just at nearing the end of the show. We wanted to capture a group shot. It took less than 30 seconds, and she embarrassed the crap out of us, and we're never going to another show of hers. Was it worth it to Miranda to lose 6 or 7 of her top fans? I don't know.
Maybe it was, and perhaps it was, and it's a commentary on society. At least to me, there's a part of that. Like it's a little rude, but at the same time, it's a commentary on our society where it's like I see that all over social media where there are just moments that are captured a lot of the time that don't necessarily have to be captured. We just don't have to do that all the time. It's like, and I think this generation especially doesn't understand that. Like, put your phones down and just enjoy life once in a while. You don't have to photograph everything. You don't have to videotape everything. You can just enjoy life without telling everybody that you're enjoying life. Maybe try that. That would be great.
I am totally team influencer hags on this.
Yeah.
Probably because once I started reading all the comments and seeing other people's clips of Miranda at different shows, it's not just about selfies. This woman gets very upset when she does not have the complete undivided attention of her crowds. And that's made evident in these next 2 clips where, because people were tossing a beach ball through the air, as people do at concerts, when she gets a hold of them, she deflates them because she gets so mad. And in one of these clips, you'll hear her say, "This is not a beach party. This is a time for you to listen to my music." And I'm just like, girl, these are ticket buyers. Calm yourself. But here's those 2 clips.
She's not a fan of Jimmy Buffett concerts, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Because Jimmy Buffett concerts, we throw sharks around and stuff like that. Yeah. I think everybody in this scenario is a narcissist. Everybody.
I totally agree with that.
She is, and the girls in the audience are. So, it's like everybody just needs to get a grip. But man, we're living in a world where everybody's just so full of themselves.
But then also I think about, my own experience at the Robbie Williams show when I was in front row, and I was like, I've loved him for decades and I'm like this close to him. Right. And so I asked Marcus, my best friend who took me there, and I'm like, can you take a picture of me with him in the background? And I just want to like be this close to him. And he got right down and like interacted with me. And Carrie Underwood does that with her fans. Taylor Swift does that with her fans. And here's Adele doing the same thing. She cheeses it up when she sees it happening. This is how you do, man. This is how you do with your top fan. I just can't imagine being any other way, like being pissed off at people for wanting to get an experience, like capture the moment. I just don't understand why you would be mean and call out your fans like that.
I hear you. I mean, I totally hear you. But like, I think this was a different situation where they were just doing it all night long. And
if that's true, then that's obnoxious as hell.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And listen, I'm one of those, I guess I'm old school where, I went to like Foos concerts and stuff like that. And I just went for the music, I went to enjoy the music. I wasn't all about I wasn't even about trying to get pictures with them. I just I'm a music person. I wanted to hear the music.
I don't believe for a second that if you were in the front row and had an opportunity to take a selfie with one of them, that
with
you
like
would
Dave Grohl or something,
that you wouldn't have done it, and he would have loved it.
I mean, perhaps. I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I've just been more. I don't know. I err on the side of for me, it was always about the music with the concerts. It really was. I mean, maybe that's how I am. It's different when you're like an 80s, 90s kid, you just don't really think about it as much as I think and I haven't been to a concert in forever.
Same.
So, I'm 1,000 years old. It's been a long time since I've been to a concert.
I went to Teddy Swims. That was pretty recent.
So it's been a while. Yeah.
But I will say too, I remember this was years ago.
And I don't have enough money to like sit in the front row. So that's for sure.
My husband and I went to, this is years and years ago, to Norah Jones. And you guys know Norah Jones's music, right? It's so chill.
I'd fall asleep.
Exactly, which I was, and a lot of other people were too. Because that's not a concert that you stand up and like dance at. You sit and you listen and you just savor. And that's what we were doing. I had my head on my husband's shoulder, and she got mad at the audience for not being like, not standing and not being like, I don't know, a concerty. And I'm like, have you heard you? You're not that kind of music, man.
That's a little bit weird. Yeah.
I literally have her set as my like go-to music to listen to fall asleep on a plane. Like that's my sleeping on a plane music.
I couldn't imagine going to a concert like that. I mean,
I loved her. I loved
listening to music to fall asleep to in concert. Yeah. So
it was but you can't help it, man. It's so relaxing. She was so mad though.
Oh my God. Anyway, so that's the Miranda Lambert situation.
Yeah, if you go on social media, I guarantee you're going to see somebody talking about it.
your flavor may vary on where you stand on that situation. Yeah, and she seems like she's a little bit bossy, A little bit. So yeah, a little bit. It is what it is.
Tis what it is. I know we've shown clips of this podcast, the Whatever podcast before. I wanted to share. This is just an amazing, they always get the dumbest chicks on their show. So these guys are asking this particular guest of theirs. They're obviously talking about 2A and protecting your own home and having a firearm at home to protect yourself, especially in the case of a break-in. So they're asking this girl, like, wouldn't you like to have wouldn't you want your spouse or significant other to be able to protect you in the event of a home invasion? The stupidity of this girl.
Yeah, this clip
is like,
it's funny. Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, you have to see this.
Said you'd prefer a guy who does self-defense using other methods. Are we talking like with his fist?
Oh, not like that. I just mean like, I think a gun is a bit extreme. Like if like, because most people would argue like for a legally obtained firearm in like a circumstance of self-defense. Like if someone breaks into your home, like most people would argue for that. I'm just saying like, I personally would prefer a different, I don't know. Like,
let's say you find a great guy.
This great guy, I'm like, where is he?
He's coming. You find a great guy. Mm-hmm. He wants to marry you. Okay. You guys get married. Would you prefer he defends you against home invaders with a gun or with his fists?
It would depend on what the home invader has in his hand.
You can't decide that.
Yeah.
Like that is not up to you.
You never know.
Or
if
there's more than one.
If
there's more than one.
There's 5 home invaders.
Oh my God.
All of them don't have weapons. They're ready to throw down with their fists against your husband. Would you prefer he has his hands or a gun?
Hands.
Oh my God!
I don't want them dying if they're just coming into my house.
What if after they kill him, they want to rape you? Wouldn't you want him to have a gun in that instance?
Whoa! I didn't think they were gonna kill him.
Well, I mean, they're home invaders. If he's gonna fight them,
just because you invade someone's home doesn't mean you're gonna kill them.
How do you? Doesn't mean you're gonna kill them.
Oh my God! I think we should just go in the kitchen and have grilled cheese sandwiches together.
Also, here are my boobs.
Look, and there's her belly. It's like we all wore our bras today just for this professional thing. All of us, we wore our bras. You guys, look at our bras.
Oh my God!
What a bunch of skanks! I can't.
So
Why?
dumb.
Why are they all dressed like skanks? What is that? Oh my God.
Also,
why are they all? Why? Who raises these girls?
I don't know.
I'd like to talk
They know
to
how
all
to
their
pick 'em,
mothers.
man.
I need to talk to all their mothers immediately.
They know how to pick those girls to make that show highly, highly entertaining. We've talked about the absolute state of San Francisco right now, the crime, the looting, the theft, the businesses that are hightailing it out of there as quickly as they can. I saw this on Twitter floating around the other day, and I wanted everybody to see what a Walgreens in San Francisco looks like right now.
Oh, it's nice. How does that even work? How does this work?
You probably have to pick a little tag and say,
to be like,
I
want some fish sticks. Can I please? Can somebody get those for me?
I mean, look at this. They may not even.
Oh my God.
They might as well just have a clerk and then a warehouse in the back that nobody can access, and somebody's a runner.
What a complete nightmare!
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, because they're broken into like 14 times a day, aren't they?
God, I mean, literally every last thing is behind lock and key now. Every last thing. It's just extraordinary.
Yeah, because they're looted all day long.
Mhm.
That's it, all day long. That's crazy.
It's nuts.
This is
I know
America.
people are saying, they could break the glass or whatever. I'm assuming that that's like that really thick plexiglass. I don't
Mhm.
know, but that's what I'm assuming is that they've sort of planned for worst case scenarios. But
Right.
Why they stay there, and the end result will be that they won't stay there. And then where are people going to go for their drugs? They're going to have to drive for miles to get their prescription drugs or just their toiletries or whatever. I mean, this is so self-defeating what these communities are doing to themselves.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's just crazy.
It's liberals. They're liberal run.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I learned a new acronym yesterday, and I wanted to share it with everybody because this is happening every single night on TikTok. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It is the strangest thing I've ever heard of. It is these girls who are going on TikTok live for hours and basically acting as though they are NPCs. And what that stands for is non-playable character, which comes from gaming, the gaming world, apparently.
Uh-huh.
And it describes these background characters that they have like these built-in standard lines that they say. They don't have a mind of their own. And it's become a fetish for a lot of people in gaming and otherwise who think it's hot when they can control and dictate to a girl what they say, or they can tell them to make these crazy sounds. And so TikTok has this feature, and you'll actually see my name pop up on this, because when you enter a live, because I had to get this, I screen recorded this to play for today's show. And what happens is when you enter the live stream, you get a little pop-up with your name on it that invites you to send this person an emoji or like a coin. And people shower these girls with money. They are making, and I'm not making this up to $7,000 a night for doing this.
Ah, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl. Let me write it, huh? Atia, what is the noise again? See, Galaxy, I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Oh, thank you, baby. I love you. Jess, what is the noise again?
Oh my God.
Slay, huh? Slay, huh? Slay, huh? TL, money gun, I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. TL, money gun, I got your name. Wow.
This goes on for hours.
Yeah, and they make tons
Just
of
like
money.
that.
This is the new way of making money. This is like how, yeah. This is how girls in this generation are going to start making money. Like, why go to college, right? Why get an education? Why become a doctor? Why become an engineer? Why get a real job when you can just sit at home? Like 50% of us are sitting at home now. And I mean, this in the new generation, the younger generation, they see this and they're like, why would I get an actual job? Why can't I just sit home and like doll myself up from here to here and do this crap and make $7,000 a day? I mean, why would I be a schmuck and go get a real job?
And it's hard to blame her.
No.
And because who are the people that are giving her money?
Because there are idiots who are like throwing coins at these chicks to do this stuff. I mean, it's like, it's mindless stuff. Yes, 7,000 a night.
It's just unreal. So like she's one example, but because I entered her live stream after I got out of it, like I got enough to record and then I got out of it and I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
Right.
So then I looked it up, learned about it and wanted to make sure because I wanted to show everybody because I was like, this is freaking crazy. But because I spent like 90 seconds in her live, everything that was coming up in my TikTok after that was more and more and more of these kinds of girls. And what was like our aged Black woman that was doing it. And it was jarring. Like I was like, okay, I almost get that there are these idiot,
young people,
early 20s,
right?
But like a woman our age doing it was just so weird.
Yeah.
But there's tons of people doing it. And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, think of
how is there a market for this?
Right. Think of all the people that are doing OnlyFans. Wow. I mean, that's bad enough, right? And then you got this. I mean, these people don't have to take off their clothes.
Right. They just have to make weird sounds on command.
Right. Those people, those young women don't have to sell sex to make money. They just have to look like idiots on the screen. And then, but who's the idiot, right? It's the idiot.
That's my point.
The idiot is the person who is giving them money to do this for $7,000 a night.
And for some reason, it made me think of like all of the Sound of Freedom, when you see Sound of Freedom and you realize how big the market is for that industry, for child sex trafficking. And then you think of all the disgusting, creepy men who are participating in that. To me, it's the same
people.
It's the same people. Like it's the people who just get off on the ability to dominate. And so that's what they're paying for, is this chance to be like, I'm telling that girl what to do and she's doing exactly what I say when I say it. And there's like a fetish about that. And the fact that there's that many men that are willing to pay,
and women,
so gross,
men and women.
Oh,
it's just weird, just weird ass people. Like
this is the end times, man. This has got to be the end times.
It's just messed up people who are doing that. And so, people who don't want to actually get real jobs, they can do that. And the sad thing is, they're making more money than people with real jobs.
Oh, a lot more money.
Yeah, and
who are out there that are contributing.
Right. People who are out there actually contributing to society and doing the real work in the world. And then this is the thing, you tell your kids, you work hard and then, it'll pay off. You work hard and you contribute to society, it'll pay off. And then you got these losers over here doing that crap on a screen, making, more than what they're making.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, what is going on with our society? It's just awful, you guys. Yeah. I know.
It's just the worst thing ever. And
everybody
that
needs
leads us to your whack.
Everybody needs some Jesus. All right. What's my whack? Okay. Well, this is, we just need to play the video. This person is, mentally deranged and listen,
okay.
No, I was just going to say, if you think like, this is the kind of thing where people will say, oh no, these people just want to belong and they just want to be like this, like show them this video. If they say that transgenders and all these people just want to be accepted and they want to be, normal. This is not normal. This is not normal. This is insane.
Trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Oh my God. What in the world?
I will let a doctor who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body. I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
I can't.
Right. That person is mentally deranged. The craziest part is like we see that and we're all like, that person's insane. That person's crazy. There's probably some doctor out there who's equally as nuts.
Yeah.
Who'll be like, I'll do it.
Right.
I'll totally do it. You know, because I'm one of those virtue signaling weirdos who will actually take this on.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, sick and evil. And,
and you know, 10 years ago, I would have watched that and been like, oh my God, that's just utter. Listen, it's insane now, but I would have said, this person needs to be locked up. This person is crazy. Like, this is a deranged person. And now I think this could actually, you know, this person could is accepted by certain people in society.
Yeah.
That's what's so nuts. It's so crazy to think that like this person is not seeking help. Like nobody is looking at this individual. I'm looking at this individual and thinking that they're crazy, and you guys are too. But there are actual individuals in our society that are looking at this individual and thinking, "Oh, that's okay.
We should celebrate that.
We should. That's you know, stunning and brave."
God, it's just vile.
Crazy. Yeah,
vile.
Mhm.
We're gonna need some animals because
we are.
I mean,
So
this
many
has been a
animals.
day.
Yeah.
Between NPCs and that sick freak, we need some wholesomeness, and I'm about to give you some with some My Pillow talks. Please get your My Pillow gear, all your pillows, your Giza Dream Sheets, your robes, your pet beds, your sheets, all of the things that you can imagine that you need for a comfortable bed and bath. You can get at mypillow.com/chicks. And when you use code chicks, you are going to get humongous discounts. Please help them celebrate their 20th anniversary, you guys, and buy something. You know you need something. Maybe if it's even just a travel pillow. You know you need something from mypillow.com/chicks. The cat and dog that fight and have their fights narrated.
Yes, I love it.
They're back.
Yay.
Welcome to Fight Club, and today we are still fighting over the futon. I just want to say that when I bought this thing, this is more of what I had in mind. I wanted some harmony, some cuteness, some companionship, and instead this has become their personal Everest, and neither will rest until they've conquered it for good. So let's get into it. And Maris, really sassy cat, walked her way into this one. She nudged Mickey's muzzle, suggesting that a throwdown was imminent, and it was. Mickey then sniffs her hindquarters, which is a no-no in 46 countries worldwide, and it completely stuns her, causing her to flop harder than a soccer player in the World Cup. After booth review, there was no foul committed. Maris reveals the 2-pod forklift, a move only completed by licensed operators, so points are awarded. Mickey attempts to pin her with the weight of his empty noggin. She goes down slowly, one paw reaching out, attempting to turn him off. Instead, she cuts off an ear. The medics are called. Then Mickey uses 3 points of contact to perform a stunning rendition of the stoic tripod into a hippity hop. He's met with skiddly daps. Maris flees the scene like a sore loser, but without 4 paws on the futon, Mickey cannot win. This is a draw. Thank you.
The skiddly daps are my favorite.
I know, you gotta love.
They're always my favorite.
Also, I love it when people can dance no matter what kind of music it is. Case in point.
This is fantastic.
I died laughing at that. I love it so much.
Great. It's so great. I mean, now every time I hear that, I'm going to start getting down to it.
I don't know the circumstances of this next clip at all. I just know that for some reason, there is a newscaster who is doing I guess a Zoom or a Skype with a guest. And I don't know if the guest just left the room for a minute, but what he ends up Skyping with is this.
Oh my God, look at the cat. It's so great. Oh my God, it's so epic.
Why. I don't know why.
It's just so great. That cat is so in leisure mode.
Oh my God. I just love that. Our guy that does musicals that no one has ever asked for, he has also returned with some Alicia Keys today.
Oh, here we go.
Someone, please help us. Anyone, look at her. This girl is on fire. Please, someone save her. This girl is on fire. Why won't anyone put her out? This girl is on fire. Don't just walk away. This girl is on fire. She's just a girl. And she's on fire.
Oh my God.
Please. I love him so much.
Oh my God, I know you do. He's so show choir man. He's so you in every way.
Also, I have no idea what the context is for this or how this has happened, but obviously I am super jealous of this girl.
So that's a deer.
This baby deer thinks I'm its mom.
How did she do that?
Oh my God, what a cutie.
I want to be her.
She's like, so I'm wearing Chanel and there's this baby deer on me. It's like, what? I need some context.
I know. I looked, but
It's
there
like,
was
it's
none.
just so weird.
There was no
So
context. we
random
had.
and strange. Okay.
All right. I have 3 more because we're going to end with the best story ever, a feel-good
Okay.
story for everybody because I
Love
know
it.
we need
I
it
love
today.
feel-good stories. Okay.
But first, we have a little bit of a disaster. Check out what happened here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to mute it because we'll get a copyright strike.
Oh, there's
but
water.
yeah, it's everywhere. Do you see?
It's the, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Here's what happened.
Oh my God.
He brought in a hose.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
And then you think, okay, well, he's taking it back out. Yay. So then how did this really happen? Well, he comes back.
Oh,
He comes back
no.
in. He's got it.
Oh, that little shit.
Can you even?
Gosh, you have to really love dogs to not take him to the pound.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
That dog.
what?
Look
a
at him. He's
stinker.
like, oh,
He's like, what? I'm just thirsty. What is the problem?
oh my
And then he
That
just leaves it. And that's
is
what
a
happens.
mess.
Also, imagine being close enough to videotape this extraordinary encounter.
Oh my gosh. The mama bear and the baby bear.
And
She
there's
just has
more
one.
than one.
There's more than one. I was going to say she just has one cup.
I think there may even be 3. Definitely 2. But this is just extraordinary. Their little sounds. They're hungry,
Oh my
mommy.
God,
Feed
Mom.
us.
Oh, there are
please.
3. There are 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the most precious, amazing?
It really
thing?
is. The mom's like, okay, we'll stop here. You guys can eat.
Oh my God. I love
Mom's work is
them.
never done. God
Look at her
bless
face.
them.
I love her.
Oh my gosh. She's like, well, I guess I'll sit right here.
Oh my God. I can't imagine seeing this in person. Cannot.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What sweethearts. The mama.
Oh, I love them. I love them so much.
So sweet. That is
All right.
remarkable.
You want a feel good story? You're about to get one.
Let's
This
get it.
just made me beam.
Our beer fund quickly turned into a puppy food fund.
These men took a trip down to Tennessee for Mitch Craddock's bachelor party. Suddenly, a stranger crashed their party.
We're cooking bacon in the cabin that we're staying in with the front door wide open. And next thing you know, we look over and there's a dog sitting at our front door.
Those eyes stealing their hearts. Annie needed their help.
She just looked very skinny and you could see all her ribs and she was definitely sniffing the bacon pretty good.
Men noticed she kept guarding this spot in the woods.
We saw a hole, but there was just one puppy with its head out.
So they started digging the puppy out, and one after another, they pulled out 7 little puppies, all covered in dirt and fleas. Their hearts melted. The men taking the little ones inside for baths and brotherly love.
8 dogs, 8 guys going back to Michigan.
All 8 dogs now live just 5 miles from each other. The groom, the groomsmen, they all adopted them, and they all now are one big happy family. It's really remarkable. And
really
I
cool.
think they should put a calendar. I'm not even kidding. The proceeds could go help other dogs be rescued.
That is precious.
Can you even?
That is just the sweetest thing. Animals know, you know?
God,
Mamas
I love that
know.
story.
That sweet mama just sought them out. She's like, there's a bachelor party here. I know
And
exactly what I'm doing.
Can you imagine if there had been like 9 guys and 8 puppies or 7 guys? I mean, like it was just so perfect and divine and meant to be.
The stars were aligned. That was divine intervention. I love that. I
Best
love
story
that
ever.
so much. Sweet. So
See, there's
sweet.
still goodness in the world.
There is goodness in the world. Honey, are you getting up? Are you getting up?
He is getting lazier and lazier, man.
He is. He is sleeping on the job, like for real. Literally. Are you getting up? Come on.
He is like.
Somebody wants to know who adopted the mom. I wonder if somebody adopted the mama. I would have adopted the
I'm
mama.
sure. There's no way they would have just been like, bye. No, somebody got that mama.
Are you getting up? Come on.
No.
You guys bring it in. He's going to owe you so many flaps by
So
tomorrow.
many. So many.
I mean, it's Wednesday. We're like midweek and he is just behind on flapularity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sleeping. It's been such a flapless week. It has, Mark.
Really
it has.
has.
I'll talk to him after the show. We're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna bring it in.
Heart to heart.
We're gonna talk about that, about his lack of flapularity. I know you guys are owed so many flaps. If you were on Insiders or Locals, you got to see Ella in the cage.
Yes.
She loves her cage.
It's her pen. It's her house.
I'm sorry, in her home, in her sweet little condo. And then you also got to see Coda at 10 weeks. Is it 10? No. Where are we? Not 10. No. Are we 20 weeks? We're at 20 weeks now. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. 20 weeks.
There's perks to being an insider or supporter.
Yeah. And he was walking across the fireplace because he is constant trouble. So yeah, you got to see that. So anyways, protective custody, Kathy. Ella was in protective custody. Yeah. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday and we will talk to you tomorrow.